Hello everyone, welcome to Pediatrics for Dr. Anand. This is a very important video for case presentation for all the final year MBBS students for the PGs, first year, second year, third year pediatrics, how to take a case. Everyone was asking me that. The case presentation starts with the name, age, sex of the patient, and then we have of course, the address of the patient, and then last but not the least, the informant. I'll be telling you in detail every single line. It's a very long video, has to be divided in parts. So the question is, why do you take a name of a child? Why? Examiner asks you, why did you take the name? Why do you want to take the name? Is it important to take the name? So point number one, please remember documentation. It is important for us to document the patient's name in general, number one. Number two, while asking the name, it's important for the identification, of the patient. Who is Ram, who is Raj, who is Rahul. And then for the confidence, you get good confidence, you take the confidence of the child, right? And also, religion can be, do you agree with me, religion also can be elicited by taking the name. You can get to know little about the religion, and through the religion you can get to know various things, right? Like about the eating habit of the child, or the patient. For example, if anyone who eats a pork, if someone who eats the pork, what they can get, any idea? Any infection? Have you heard in pediatrics? Have you heard of neurocystic yes or no? So NCC, neurocystic sarcosis, is important, which is basically because of the Taenia solium, TAENIA, Taenia solium. Okay, the patients who consume pork, they usually have NCC, and the one who eats beef, basically they can get infection through the Taenia. Which one? Anyone? Taenia saginata. Are you understanding? Yes or no? So this was important regarding the taking the name of the child. All these important points I have highlighted, very important for taking case presentation. This video is really important for all of you. Please, try to understand. Now coming to age. Why do you want to take the age of the child? Just think, the Rohan is 4 years old, 14 years old, just a newborn. Why it is important for us to take the age of the patient? Okay, age. So any random guesses, what do you think? So age is important because certain diseases are prevalent in certain specific age group. For example, it gives us a good clue actually to the diagnosis. If it is a newborn coming with complaints, is it a 5-year-old, is it a 15-year-old? For example, okay, come to examples. For example, have you heard of rheumatic fever? Have you heard of rheumatic fever, where you had this John's criteria for pancarditis, polyarthritis, erythema marginatum, subcutaneous nodules, and Sydenham's chorea? I'm telling fast because I'm just brushing little knowledge of yours. Rheumatic fever is common in 5 to 15 years of age. Rheumatic fever, remember, so age is important. What is the age of my child? Rheumatic fever is usually in 5 to 15 years of age of the children, and the criteria we follow is the John's criteria. Next we have, what else? Okay, have you heard of thalassemia? Very important. Thalassemia patients, hemolytic anemias, thalassemia. Thalassemia patient usually comes to you by after 6 months of life, usually, late infancy. Why? Because of the compensatory effect of the fetal hemoglobin in early infancy. You know that, right? There is, because of the fetal hemoglobin, it stays for the like after birth, beginning few months, around 6 months, the fetal hemoglobin is there in the baby, and that is why you patient will not come to with symptoms, and later the patient starts coming you with anemia and hemolytic anemias and thalassemias feature. So due to compensatory effect of the fetal hemoglobin, the age group is late infancy for the thalassemias. So age of my patient is important because of rheumatic fever. I can think of thalassemias. Vitamin deficiencies are very common in children 5 years or younger. Okay, all these proteins, vitamins, minerals deficiencies, they are very important in less than 5 years old. Okay, what else can you think of? Can you think of something known as protein energy malnutrition? Previously we used to say PEM, but now we used to say a word, something known as SAM. Have you heard of SAM? Severe acute malnutrition, yes or no? And SAM is defined as weight for height less than -3 standard deviation, mid upper arm circumference less than 11.5 centimeter, and bilateral pitting type of edema. That was the WHO classification of SAM. Now coming to the other points, why age is important of the child. Even a lot of the very important congenital heart disease, lot of important the important point for taking the age of a child, whether it's a newborn, it's a adolescent, it is a 4 weeker baby or a newborn baby. So congenital heart disease has to be ruled out. You should think of, if I'm taking the age of the baby. Okay, now can you tell me any important congenital heart disease, like it is important whether the child is a newborn coming to me, yes or no. Is it a newborn by birth, the baby has come to me with some problem, or the baby has come in the later weeks of life, or I would say that point, right, like young baby, younger children. And last but not the least, can you think of any even condition like adulthood, which are little prevalent in adulthood, which cannot be seen as a newborn baby, right? So these ages are important. We're talking about age. So if baby comes to you with birth problem, congenital heart, I will think of 5 T's. Everyone, we have crammed 5 T's, right, in general. So you know that TOF is tetralogy of Fallot, which has right ventricle hypertrophy, right ventricle outflow tract obstruction with ventricular septal defect and overriding of aorta. TOF. And what else? Another T, 5T is important, which we can think of other than tetralogy of Fallot. We have something known as, any random guesses? There are so many T's, right? TGA. Have you heard of TGA? What is TGA? Transposition of great arteries. Transposition of great arteries. Then we have what? We have tricuspid atresia. Okay, now third T, which is again congenital heart. Tricuspid atresia is important. I'll just write another spelling because you might not be able to, my handwriting is not that great. So tricuspid, yeah, this is beautiful. So tricuspid atresia. So the 5 T's for birth congenital heart disease are tetralogy of Fallot, transposition of great arteries, tricuspid atresia, and truncus arteriosus. Have you heard of truncus arteriosus? And the last one is TAPVC, total anomalous pulmonary venous connection, or some book says total anomalous pulmonary venous drainage. Okay, these are the 5 T's. So age is important of me for case presentation. My newborn baby came with complaints of cyanosis since birth. Okay, like that. Okay, what about younger baby, little infants or later infancy? What you can think of, like 4 to 6 weeks of life, which is the most commonest congenital heart. You should think of VSD. So ventricular septal defect. Ventricular septal defect, usually they come with failure, or even they come with symptoms at 4 to 6 weeks of life, as the pulmonary pressure falls and they comes to you with the symptoms. Okay, ventricular septal defect. Okay, VSD. Okay, if I talk about adulthood, what do you think? Later period of life, ASD, atrial septal defect, usually manifests in adulthood or very late. Even though it is a congenital heart disease, but it comes very late. The presentation features comes very late of the ASD. So are you understanding? So next is sex. So what are we reading? Case presentation, name, age, sex, address, informant, right? So sex. Why it is important to take the sex of in case presentation? Depend. It is a male or a female. So can you tell me any important conditions, like which is important in males or important in females? Atrial septal defect. Congenital hearts are usually left to right shunts are more common in females than males. ASD, right? Atrial septal defect, right? Atrial septal defect. If you want, if I make this picture of the heart, segments of the heart, this is the right atrium, then we have right ventricle, this is the left atrium, we have the left ventricle, right? This is the normal segment of the heart. So atrial, this one, atria septal defect. Okay, number one, it is a left to right shunt. Okay, why it is a left to right shunt? Because left side of the heart has a higher musculature, higher pressure, and then the right side of the heart, the pressures in the musculature is higher. That's why it's left to right shunt in general. Okay, details are there in my cardiology mobile app. You can watch it there. Then what else? It's more of a left to right shunt atrial septal defect. It is kind of a plethoric lung condition. What is plethoric lung conditions? Lung condition with the heart condition with the increased pulmonary blood flow. So atrial septal defect is a condition of increased pulmonary blood flow. Okay, next. Now why again sex is important? Because in females in general, you should know, females are more prone for protein energy malnutrition. Before we used to say protein energy malnutrition, but now you all know that we say something known as severe acute malnutrition, right? Severe acute malnutrition, which defined as weight for height less than -3 standard deviation. Okay, severe acute malnutrition, very important AIIMS question. And in general also, SAM is like bread and butter of pediatrics. Weight for height less than -3 standard deviation, mid upper arm circumference less than 11.5 centimeter, and bilateral pitting type of edema. Okay, what else now? Okay, why sex is important in case presentation? Because of the congenital heart, which are more common in females. Number one. Number two, females are more common for these what you call rickets. Rickets is a nutritional deficiency caused by underexposure of the sunlight, which is more common in females, in girls. Why it is more common in females? Because the girls spend less time in the outdoors, you can say, and they wear clothes that cover the whole body usually as compared to the boys. That is why. Okay, so what are the other things which are common in males now, not in females? If you can, tell me. Females, it is the syndromes important are Turner syndrome, a female with widely spaced nipples and a webbed neck, 45XO mutation, Turner syndrome. Other syndrome is the Rett syndrome, which is common in females. Hand wringing movement, and the developmental regression. That you can think of, and rheumatic chorea also. Normally, it is seen in females. Okay, yeah, this is sex is important. Now in males, what are the important conditions in male? You can think as a sex, it is important. Klinefelter syndrome. Have you heard of Klinefelter syndrome? 47XXY. So Klinefelter syndrome is important. And what are the other syndromes? Have you heard of Fragile X syndrome? Fragile X syndrome, where there is like large ears, and the patient will have little broad face, like a Rett syndrome, like this not Rett, Fragile X syndrome. Fragile X syndrome. One of the second most important cause of mental retardation after Down syndrome is Fragile X syndrome. Okay, so now what else other syndromes are common in males? Have you heard of color blindness? Also, usually it is more common in males. There are a lot of disease, like even hemophilia also in general, and DMDs, Duchenne muscular dystrophies, which has Gover sign. Have you heard of muscular dystrophies? Duchenne muscular dystrophy and Becker muscular dystrophy, and which has Gover sign is seen, and all those conditions. So these all conditions, again, sex is important for me to understand for my case presentation. Are you understanding? Yes or no? So even what you called Hunter syndrome is important. Hunter. Have you heard of mucopolysaccharidosis? So type 2 mucopolysaccharidosis is Hunter disease. Imagine a boy, a male going to hunt in a forest. So Hunter disease is seen in males. Hunter disease, in that clouding of cornea will not be seen, and Hunter is type 2 mucopolysaccharidosis. Okay. So basically, moving further, next important point in case presentation we should know is the patient's address. Yes or no? We always say like, have you taken the address? So why address is important? Why the place of residence is important in eliciting some disorders or some disease? So for example, if we talk about, if I'm staying in a hilly area, or I'm staying in a hilly region or a hilly altitude, there are some tribal communities who stays in hilly areas. So example is like goiter. Endemic goiter is common in hilly regions. And also one more condition which is common in high altitude is PDA in some patients. Patent ductus arteriosus is common at high altitudes. Do you know patent ductus arteriosus? Do you remember what is it exactly? What happens in the fetal circulation? See, we have this heart. Okay, we have something known as the four chambers, and then I'm making this ductus arteriosus. We have right atrium, right ventricle. This is the pulmonary artery. Then left atrium, left ventricle, and the arch of aorta. Please remember Ames question. Patent ductus arteriosus is present between what and what? It is between the pulmonary artery and descending aorta. Please, descending aorta. It is a left to right shunt. It is a acyanotic congenital heart disease. You'll get bounding peripheral pulses and easily palpable dorsalis pedis artery with a continuous machinery murmur and a hyperdynamic precordium. Details of why PDA this and that is there in my mobile app. You can watch it there. It's just I'm brushing up for all the PGs and UGs. It will be really helpful. Other diseases, sickle cell disease. Even people staying in the hilly areas, even sickle cell anemia is also very common in tribal communities and hilly areas. Okay, and also it is very important for documenting the place of residence. It is important for us to understand the place which my patient is right now staying and the place of the origin, like where is he from exactly. Two places are important. Where is he residing right now, and where is he from basically, because it is relevant, because some disorders in the patients. मैं बुलाता हूँ, बैठो, बुला रहा हूँ मैं. So you should know that it is very relevant, because some disorders in the patient may match from their places of origin, rather than their places of current residing address. And also why place of residence is important, because even lead poisoning is common in children who staying near automobile industries, that also you should know. Okay, so name, place, age, sex, place of residence, and very nicely we have covered. And last, we always say informant. Who is the informant? We say, no, my 5-year-old male boy named Rahul residing at RT Nagar, and informant being the mother, and she is reliable, like that we say. What is informant? Informant is the person, it is the person who presents the history on behalf of the child. So informant is the person who presents the history on the behalf of the child. It could be a mother, could be a grandmother, could be a grandfather, could be a father, but that is informant, a person who presents the history on behalf of the child. Could be a mother, of course, could be a father, could be a grandfather or a grandmother, but our best person to give us a informant, like the best informant, I would say, is our nothing but our mother is the best one to tell you everything with the child. See, you saw the child in for 5 minutes, okay, but mother is the one who is with the child 24/7. So listen to her, what she's saying, and then reliable. Is she reliable? My informant being the mother, and she is reliable. So reliability, we are giving like importance, to the information which she gives us. Our uncles and aunts and cousins are not reliable, I would say. It's the mother, which is reliable. So the one who stays with the child 24/7, who is emotionally connected, mentally connected, who is aware with the problem. Informant's intellectual level also is important in this case. And these are the important points. So basically, this was the first part of the case presentation. Thank you so much for watching this whole video. I hope you liked the video. And in the next part, this was the first part: name, age, sex, address, and informant and reliability. Second part, I'll be talking the chief complaints in detail, onset, progress, duration, examples, this, that, which is very important for basic first year MBBS starting to a final year PG pediatrics student. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you really like the video, please let me know if you liked it, and any cases you want to approach and portray, please let me know. And you can join my free WhatsApp group also for PEDS learning, Telegram and WhatsApp group. You can WhatsApp on 9999897081. Have a wonderful day studying. God bless you. Bye.